Thank you and welcome everyone. It's great to be here. And like Lisa and Rachel mentioned, it was February 2020 when I last did a presentation down in Canterbury for Canterbury BID. So it's great to be back. Obviously in different circumstances. I know we're still online, but there's a lot going on face to face as well, which is also great. But this morning we're online. We're going to be talking about LinkedIn, a platform that many businesses think that they need to be posting on every single day and need to be posting multiple times a day. And I'm going to share with you some tips and strategies on how you can start growing and increasing that presence on LinkedIn, that you don't have to be there every single day, every single minute of the day, where some of these people are telling you to go and do. So I hope that you enjoy this presentation. I know that you will get something from it, even if it's one golden nugget you can take away and start actioning. And like Rachel said, any questions, feel free to put them in the chat box. I will ask questions throughout and just get your interaction as we go through. Make sure that you're all still with me and you're all still okay in terms of what I'm covering. But at any point you think, Zoe, this is really going over the top of my head, just put it in the chat. Just say, Zoe, could you explain that? Or what's this? Or could you show me this? I'm more than happy to cater this presentation to you because it is about you and not about me just dictating content. Okay, so I'm going to open up my slides and I'm going to share my screen. Hopefully you can all see my slides okay. So I'm going to start off with a quote. And I love starting with quotes because I think it gives us a little bit of inspiration before we get started, before I give you those boring analytics in a moment. But I promise you I've only got one slide. But LinkedIn is not just a platform. It's a pathway to endless opportunities where connections can become collaborations and dreams turn into reality. And I love this quote because it says everything about LinkedIn. LinkedIn is an amazing opportunity that if you're looking to be connected to someone that could take your business to the next level, that could connect you with another person, that could get you into another country, location, into a project, LinkedIn can do that for you. And it's just about you building connections, having collaborations, and thinking about what it is that you want to achieve in your business. How can you use LinkedIn to help you achieve that, to make it reality? So again, take a screenshot of this. I'm going to send it across on my slides, but, really think about before you even use LinkedIn, and I'll talk about this in a moment, what are your goals for LinkedIn? What are you going to use LinkedIn for your business? So for example, an example for me is that I use LinkedIn purely for two things. Number one is to get on more stages and to do more talks. And the second one is to get in front of marketing directors, social media directors, people within brands and companies that might want me to train their team or keep them up to date, or consultancy. So I have two main things that I'm really focusing on. I'm not trying to do everything on there. So really think about that. For those of you that have not met me before, please do come and connect with me on LinkedIn. I'll share my profile in a moment. And if there's anyone in my contact list that you think, Zoe, I'd love to be connected with them, let me know and I can see how we can introduce you, because that's what LinkedIn's all about. But do come and connect with me. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go over why LinkedIn is important and why it's valuable. I'm going to go over the benefits for employees and your business. So if you've got employees that are working with you and you want them to start using LinkedIn more to share your content to their contacts, especially if they're new in the business or they're building connections because they're in the sales team, I'm going to share those benefits. I'm going to talk to you about crafting the perfect profile and its importance and some real key tips. I'm going to talk about thought leadership and collaborative posts, which are really new. About building your network and how you can go and do that and start building them, quite quickly, and making sure that they are targeted as well. Talk about how you can get more engagement on your LinkedIn. And I've just been working with a company that want to generate more sales, and they weren't utilising polls on LinkedIn. Showed them how to do a poll. They got great engagement on the poll where people were voting for a particular answer. That salesperson then went and looked at all the people that actually voted on their poll and started to go and have conversations with those people, not so much selling to them directly, but just having conversations, which really helped them increase their sales, which is a great tip. And I'm going to share that with you as well. look at the perfect caption, what you should write and how you should write it. And then give you 5 steps that you can take away and start actioning straight away on LinkedIn to start for you to start seeing increased engagement, increased growth, but most importantly, those leads and inquiries that you're looking for. Okay. And then we'll do a bit of a Q&A, but ask questions throughout. So here are the boring statistics. I remember going to presentations years ago, and they always used to be about statistics and no things for you to action take. But believe me, this is my only slide of analytics. So LinkedIn is the largest professional networking site, okay? And it turned 20 years old. It makes me feel old because I remember when it first came around. And yeah, it's 20 years old and it's been around for a while. It is purely for business to business. In COVID, many people started to use it for personal posts, but there was many people that said, look, this is a professional site. People wanted to like keep the personal away from the business. You know, personal posts are still really good, but sometimes you look at something, you think, oh, that could really be more for Facebook. So when you post something, just think about, okay, would I say this on this platform? Do I want everyone to know this? So just be aware of that. There's over 36,000 active newsletters on LinkedIn. So if you're already doing a newsletter for your email list, then consider a newsletter on LinkedIn. This is amazing, right? So I'll just give you an insight into this. When you post something on LinkedIn as an update status, your people who are connected to you might see your posts. They might not, depending on whether they've engaged with you or depending on whether they've looked for you recently. So you might end up in their feed. If one of your connections engages on it, then you might potentially see it in your feed. But what newsletters are doing on LinkedIn is that you go and create a newsletter for the first time, and it goes and sends a notification to all of your connections. And it says, would you like to subscribe to Rachel's newsletter on LinkedIn? And if they say yes, every time you send a newsletter, we haven't got to worry about the algorithm as to whether it's going to show people in their feed or not. Because if people subscribe to your newsletter, it will send them a notification to say Rachel's just published a new newsletter. So they all get it. And it's going to show a targeted audience. It's really great way to get in front of people. This is very new. I say it's very new. It's probably about 9 months old. But there's some really great features on newsletters. You can embed links, images, put a link to your email newsletter, to downloads, events. It's great. So it's great for adding value. And there are over 61 million companies on LinkedIn now. So that's a lot of companies on there. But if you are your personal brand and you are the person, you know, that is out there and about, and you don't necessarily have a big team, I would say stick with your personal profile to build your brand right now. Otherwise, you've got your LinkedIn profile and the company you're trying to update. And if it's just you and you are a personal brand, then we'll say LinkedIn profiles are just right. Okay, so what are the benefits of you having LinkedIn? So lots of people say, oh, it's just another social media site and I'm only business to consumer. So I'm a retail shop on the high street selling to, people that come into my shop. They're more suited for Facebook and Instagram. However, LinkedIn is still great for you to connect with other people within your industry, business influencers within your area that could tell other people about your retail shop or tell other people about what you're doing. There's still benefits for you to be on LinkedIn. Okay. And for business to business, LinkedIn is the preferred platform for that activity. So what are the benefits of it? It's great for attracting new business contacts and definitely networking with existing contacts as well. So if I've been to a networking event or I've been on this webinar with you all, I would love to say to you all, come and connect with me after this webinar. It's a great way for you to still keep in contact with those people, but accelerate that business relationship with those people until you see them again, and before you see them again. Otherwise, if you're going to a networking event and it's just once a month, what's going to happen is you're going to meet them at networking and you won't see them for a whole month. But if you go and connect with them on LinkedIn, you've got that opportunity over that next month to really accelerate that business connection, that collaboration, and really making them aware of what you do. So great for networking with existing contacts. The other thing I love doing with it is potential opportunities. So if I think I really need to be in touch with someone who is in with this industry or someone that does this, I will put out on my LinkedIn, does anyone know a local accountant that does specializes in this? And I'll put it out and I'll wait for my contacts to say, yeah, you should speak to so-and-so. And that's a great way for you to really build your network, but also connect with recommended people within your network. It's great for building your presence and awareness, great for learning from industry leaders. I love it for driving traffic to our websites. It's great for recruiting opportunities and great for advertising as well. So LinkedIn has got so many great benefits that you could be using it for. And again, like me, I only use it for one or two of those things. I don't overwhelm myself thinking I've got to do all of this stuff on LinkedIn to get the benefits, because you don't. And I learned that probably around 2 or 3 years into my journey with LinkedIn. I realised that I don't have to be posting multiple times a day on LinkedIn. I probably only post a max of 3 times a week on LinkedIn, and it's good quality content that I then don't have to do it every single day, because I'm doing lots of things behind the scenes as well, which I'll share with you. So, what's the benefits for employees and companies? Well, for you, as a company who has employees that you want to get involved, and again, you might want to share this recording with your employees, is that they're going to help their personal growth, but also going to help with brand recognition of your brand. They're going to have it on their profile to expand the reach. So if you've got your personal brand in your company page, and you've then got employees saying they work for you, and they put your branding on their personal profiles, that's going to really help expand the reach of your brand. It's great company exposure, great networking. And again, for them, it's really great skill enhancement for them, and really great for them keeping up with the latest updates within their industry. So I've got a company that I work for, and all of their sales team are on there, but also all of their marketing teams. A lot of their business development managers are on there. Their business development managers' goals are to connect with local businesses. Their marketing team goals is learning new content, and their sales team is connecting with those people that their business development managers built connections with, and getting out their branding and their message. So there's some real good ways of getting your team involved. And it all starts with, the way that I would start it, if you do have a team, is getting in front of them and just saying, what is your knowledge around LinkedIn? You may even have some really great people in your team already that can really add some value to other team members of the skills they already know around LinkedIn as well, which is really good. So there's some great benefits for your employees and for your company too. But first things first, what you want to do before you start doing all this outreach and going out on LinkedIn, start connecting with lots of people, is to make sure that you've got your LinkedIn profile completed first. Okay, because if you start going out there and you've not got a profile image, it's not complete, people will look at your profile and they might not necessarily connect with you because it is incomplete, and they might think that you're a spam account. They might think, is this the real Rachel, as an example, because there's no profile image. So they might be, not reluctant to connect. And that's why it's really important to make sure that you have a fully complete profile before you start connecting with people. People will have their parameters on what, and their sort of rule guidelines that they have on what types of people they're going to connect with, based on location, based on industry, based on, it could even be based on job title. So make sure you've got your profile complete, and I'll go over a few tips on that at the moment. And make sure that you've got your goals of what you want to achieve. What are you going to post? What is the reason for you being on LinkedIn? What's important to you? And even just having 1 or 2 goals for LinkedIn is completely fine. If you start overwhelming yourself with too many messages or too many goals, you won't end up trying to, what's the right word? You won't end up being motivated to achieve that one goal. When I, like, for example, I've got 2, but believe me, I started with 1. My first goal was to really get as many speaking gigs as I could. And the way that my actions that I had, what I had to do in order to achieve that was to go and connect with as many event organisers that were running events that my target audience were going to. So that was my goal. And I'd connect with at least 6 of them each week. I'd start connecting with them, building rapport with them, looking at what events they were running. I just started to really connect and engage with them. Okay, so set your goals and objectives. Plan a weekly checklist, and I'm going to give you a checklist towards the end of this that you can go away and start to action. Take the action. Remember, it's all come back down to action. You know, I always say, if you've just opened a shop, you've got to tell people about it for them to know that you're there. Okay, you know, don't just sit behind the counter and wait for people to come in. Go and tell people about it. Do your marketing. Go out and hand out leaflets. Put an A board out. Start collaborating with other shops. It's exactly the same on LinkedIn. When you get on LinkedIn, tell people that your profile's there. If you're established on Instagram, you're established on Facebook, tell people on there as well. If you go networking, tell them you've just joined LinkedIn. Come and connect with me. It might even be that Lisa and Rachel think of an idea on how all of the people coming to all of these sessions could maybe have a group where you all share your LinkedIn profiles that you can connect with each other. I don't know whether you've got a private group where all the businesses can collaborate, but again, a really thing that you could maybe swap LinkedIn profiles and start connecting with each other, because believe me, just even having 20 new connections can really be great, both for the Canterbury BID and support for that, but also you connecting with each other. Because I guarantee, how many people are on this webinar? 27 people on this webinar. There's bound to be some great collaborations just with us as a group, because it's not about the quantity of the people here. It's about the quality of all of you here and your ambitions and the things that you've got going on, and about you collaborating as a group, okay? And it's about monitoring and measuring, analysing what you're doing each month. And I know that if I was on these Canterbury BID workshops and really utilising them, I'd really want to start connecting with all of these businesses that were taking part, because I know that they're serious about really helping their business grow, getting involved, and there could be some really great collaborations there. So I think that would be one of my goals for taking the time out each week to really engage. Okay, so first things first, having that profile complete, my computer's gone a bit sensitive, is really key. So what is the perfect profile? What is the perfect profile? It's really important to stand out, because like, you know, when we go networking, there might be lots of people within our industry that do the same thing as us. And when people say to me, oh, you know, I'm going to go to a network, and Rachel's probably heard this, and I'm probably talking about Rachel. I'm trying to remember Rachel. You have a Rachel on here that I know, and I know her so well. I don't know her surname, Rachel Saunders. She's probably heard this a few times. You know, it doesn't matter how many different people are at that networking event in the same industry, different people resonate with different people. So there's enough business out there for everyone. And, you know, what's important is making your profile stand out, but getting across your personality through your profile is really key. Now, this is I'll give you a little bit of a giggle on this. And I was working with a solicitor, and he come to me, or a lawyer, I'll call him, and he come to me and he said, Zoe, I'm just not getting any leads and inquiries through my LinkedIn profile. He goes, I've really tried to bring out my personality. I'm trying to engage with people. So I went to check his profile. And the first thing I looked at was his head and shoulder icon, because I thought if people are searching for a lawyer within a certain area, his profile is going to come up because it's fully optimized. And he had, his image was him in Bermuda shorts on holiday. And I said, do you know what? People might not take you seriously as part of your profile image. She goes, yeah, but that's my personality. I said, but your personality comes across really well in your profile. just change that profile image, even just for a couple of weeks, and see what response you get. He changed it to a head and shoulder shot, which was, it was a little bit laid back, but it was a little bit more serious. And he got some really great response just by changing that profile image. Was a big step. More people took him seriously. They still saw his personality because he had videos on his profile. And again, he got great response. So making your profile stand out doesn't mean to say that you need to, I don't know what the right word is. You come up, bring out video clips, use photos, but not necessarily in that profile picture. Make sure this is a B2B networking site, but you can bring your personality out across your profile. On your LinkedIn profile, the most important areas is your picture, your headline, and your summary. And I'm going to show you what I mean here, as I hate it when you might think, oh, what does Zoe mean by these areas? Let me just get my profile up. So on the profile, when you go to someone's profile, they've got their name, and then underneath they've got a headline, okay, which normally people have just managing director, okay, they have managing director and nothing else, okay, or they have marketing director. What you need to make sure is that you have marketing director and then maybe the industry that you're in, or even the brand. Or if you've got multiple roles, then put those in. So you're going to get found by those keywords. So it's a little bit like Google. If you've not got keywords in your headline and in your summary, you might not get found in that search. So when someone searches in that search bar and they look for marketing director in Canterbury, if you've not got marketing director in your headline or your summary, then you might not come up. And this is really key. And I'll give you an example. So I've got social media. You can see I've got social media in there. And then if I scroll down, your summary is your about section, which tells people about what you do, how you can help people, and a little bit about you, a bit about your personality. Okay, so that's really important to have your keywords. Now, the reason I say this is, say, for example, does anyone want to put in the chat someone with a job title that they would be looking for? What types of audience are you looking for on a B2B? I'm going to pick on Rachel Saunders as an example. For example, she does amazing for Bow Concept. She does amazing interior stuff, and I shouldn't call it stuff, but she does lovely interior. And so she might be looking for, let's just say, operation managers, or who else might she be looking for in companies that might want corporate design. So I'm going to put in here, I'm going to put in operations director, and Rachel might want to look for these people or in Canterbury. So I've put operations director in the search, clicked on enter. I'm going to click on people, and then I'm going to click on locations, and I'm going to type in Canterbury. And what that's going to do, I'm going to click on Canterbury. It's going to show me all of the operations directors in Canterbury. Okay, so you can go and find your target audience. Now, I might also, if I thought, right, I actually want to, say I wanted to go and find the marketing director, not that I probably want to do this, but the marketing director of McDonald's. And I don't really want to phone up the number of McDonald's and try and find the person I need to speak to. I want to find their exact name and get in touch with that exact person. I could go back up to the search. I'm just going to reset this. And I'm going to type in the top marketing director. Okay. And I'm going to click on people. And then what I'm going to do is, once I've clicked on people, I'm going to go current company instead this time. And I'm going to type in McDonald's. And what it does, it brings up all of McDonald's in here. And I'm just going to put McDonald's in general. And now what it does is it's going to bring up all of the marketing directors that work at McDonald's. And again, I can just put on location and put in here United Kingdom. But I can then go and find the exact person that I need to speak to. So say it was Ben, I click on connect, and I could send it with a note. I wouldn't send a sales message. Sorry, I didn't show you how to do that. Let me just go on connect again here. When I go add a note, I might just say, Hi Ben, hope all is well. Would love to connect with you. Can see we're in the same industry, same topic area of marketing. Always good to connect with people within my industry. And I'd send him an invite. I wouldn't send him a whole sales spiel because that would just put him off in connecting with me. And by doing that, I start to build my connection list within my target audience. I do this activity every week. I connect with at least 6 to 10 people each week, and I'll tell you how I do it in a moment. I allocate like an hour each week to do that because it really does build my connection list and really helps when I'm putting out relevant information to get in front of those people. But it's a great way to find your target audience, great way to build and grow, definitely on LinkedIn. And I might then not stalk Ben over when he's connected with me, but I'll go and see what he's posting out. So I'd click on Ben as an example, and I'd click on his profile and it shows me his activity. Okay. And I'll go show all posts. And what I can do is I can see what he's been posting. Although this is 8 months ago, so he's not doesn't look like he's very active. But if he was active, I'd go and start engaging on his posts. So he starts to see that I'm engaging, not by putting spam on there, but just engaging, interacting with his posts and start to build rapport. Okay, start to build conversation. So I start to get noticed. Okay. So that's a great way on how you can really start building. But most importantly, that headline and that picture and your about section, I call it a summary, is so, so important. Okay. And the other thing on your profile is that you can now, let me just show you this too, is I just want to show you live stuff because I think it's important to show you live. Let me just show you. On your profile, you now have this featured area. And your featured area is where you can put any video clips. So again, I'm going to pick on Rachel because I know Rachel really well on this from networking, but I hear great stuff that she's doing. And Rachel was on, I'm sure it was Grand Designs. I'm sure it was. So Rachel might have a little snippet video of her on Grand Designs, and she might put it into her featured area. So if someone was looking through her profile, in her featured area, she'd have that little video clip of her credibility to show what she's done and her, what the company's done and how she's got involved. So this is a really great way. You can just click on the plus and you can feature a post, a newsletter, an article, a link from YouTube, which is what I've done, or even just media. If you've got like some photos you want to add on there, you can add photos. Okay, so it's a really great area to really showcase your credibility. Okay. For those of you, how many of you are on LinkedIn? There's another little thing that's just become available that lots of people don't know about. When you're on your profile, you see you've got this little pencil icon just under your header image, this little pencil, okay? You click on it, and if you scroll right to the bottom, there's a new feature called Custom Button. And custom button allows you to add a custom button to the top of your LinkedIn feed, right? So when people look at the top, there's this big button that says go to my website. It gives it a call to action. It could be download free chapter of my book or visit my YouTube channel. So you should have that edit custom button. If you've not got it, it might still be rolling out. But the way that you get to it is when you go to your profile, there's a little pencil icon, and you scroll right to the bottom and you've got edit custom button. It is still rolling out to everyone, so if you haven't got it yet, keep checking. Really important to keep checking. But again, a really important thing that you can have that will be at the top of your feed for people to click on, and it comes up in searches now as well. Okay. I know originally it was only for premium LinkedIn people, but they did say that we're going to be rolling it out. So hopefully those of you that haven't got it yet, it will be rolled out soon. Okay, so another really important feature there that you can utilize. Okay, so and you can probably see, let me just show you as well. you can probably see from mine is based on my goal of what I want to achieve on LinkedIn. So you can see here's my call to action, watch my show reel. Because I'm in connecting with conference directors and event organisers, I want them to go and look at my show reel so they can then think, actually, I would love Zoe to speak at my event. And they get to see me in action, they see my credibility. Okay, so I'll go back to my slides. I'm keeping an eye on the time because I know I've got a lot to get through and I want to make sure I give it all to you. Okay, so add a call to action to your about section, include any media, and make sure that you link your role to your appropriate company page where possible. This is if you've got a company page and you want your audience to go through to that company page. So with that, when you go and you put your experience in and you start to write the company where you're working or your own company, as you start to write it, it will bring a a drop down box, and it enables you to click on the company that you are working at or your company that you own, and it then puts the logo into your profile and allows people to click on that to go straight to the company. Okay. Add to your recommendations. So this is for testimonials. I get into the habit now of when I send someone an invoice or someone says, I've really enjoyed this, I will send them a link to my LinkedIn profile and I'll say, would you mind giving me a testimonial on LinkedIn? So I'll show you this actually, because I think this is really important and something you can get into a bit of a habit with. Like I've got people that really want to grow their Google company page and they send their Google link for people to put on. But I love growing my LinkedIn profile by doing that. So if I scroll down, you will see as I go down, there is a place called recommendations. And you can see people that have given me, I've got like recommendations. I've got over 75 on here. But here is a little plus sign, right? So there's a little plus icon. If I click on the plus, I can click on ask for a recommendation, or you can give a recommendation, but I'm going to ask for one. And then I might put in here, let's put in here Rachel. Make sure that I've spelt her name right. Here we go. If I type in Rachel and go continue, and then it will say what relationship with Rachel. So I put Rachel was a client of mine, and her position at the time, my position at the time was at ZT Social Media. And then I would just put a personalised message. I wouldn't keep that message. I'd just say, hi Rachel, hope all is well. It was lovely to work with you on the Canterbury BID project. Would you mind giving me a recommendation? You then click send, and that then sends it to them, and they then click on it and they give a testimonial that it gets sent back and you get it in your message area of LinkedIn. And that then gives you the opportunity to review it before you add it to your profile. But this is a great way to build that up. So when people are looking at your profile, they can see your testimonials. They're great. I always ask for a testimonial on LinkedIn because I can then go and share that on Facebook. I can share it on Instagram. I can share it on my website as text and just direct people back to the web back to my LinkedIn profile to see them. It's a really great way of building that credibility. Okay. Let me see. Anna said, can you add testimonials to business pages? So Anna, at the moment, they don't allow you to, let me just come off of this. Let me go back on here. At the moment, Anna, they don't allow us to have testimonials on our company pages, but they're doing so much to our company pages. And I hope that's a feature that they will introduce, because what's so annoying is that, say, for example, you've got team members, they get the recommendation on their profile. When that team member leaves, they take the testimonial with them and it doesn't stay with the company. So I'm hoping that from feedback we've given LinkedIn, we're hoping that they implement those onto the company page. But Anna, what I would do, if you get them onto your personal profile, you can just create a nice image in Canva with that testimonial on it, which is a great way to then share it onto the company page. Okay. So just some tips there. Give recommendations as well. You can never be too generous, and tidy up your skills section and turn on those skills and endorsements. You have a skills area on your LinkedIn page and you can have up to 49 skills on there. Now, those skills are contributed to your keywords for your profile. So if someone was to search for email marketing and you've got that skill on your LinkedIn profile, your profile would then come up in that search. So it's really important to add your skills. And again, like I said, you can add up to 49 of them on your profile. Okay, so really important area there. Okay. So building your connections is the next thing. Remember, it's quality over quantity. So making sure that you only connect with those people there's a reason behind it. Otherwise, what will happen if you connect with everyone, you might end up attracting those people that want to spam. They might be people that want to always get in your inbox with constant sales messages, and they might be irrelevant people that might not bring that value to your feed. So have a reason for connecting. I always go and view someone's profile before I'm inviting them to connect. I choose parameters that I say, right, are they within an area that I'm looking to do business in? Could they be connected with my potential target audience? Could I collaborate with that person? Are they in the same industry or in an industry that I want to work within? So I always look at, why am I connecting with this person? What is the reason behind that? I never send them just the default message. I personalize it, and I always follow up with a thank you message to say thank you for connecting. Again, I don't send them a sales message. I just say thank you and say I look forward to seeing your posts and connecting with you soon. So I follow up those connections. I never spam them, and I always check out the profiles of the people that want to connect with me as well. Okay, so it's just a way I'm very strategic in the way that I build my connections on LinkedIn, and I really urge you to do the same as well. Okay, now, just for those of you that are on LinkedIn or not already and want to take it to that next step, there's some really great opportunities on LinkedIn, and they're called collaborative posts. So you're going to find when you scroll through on your phone, you might get a post that comes up on your feed that says you have been invited to contribute to this collaborative article or collaborative post. And what's going to happen is if you go and comment on that post, it's going to help you stand out as a thought leader in your field. So what happens is if you start commenting on those posts, LinkedIn adds up how many posts you might have contributed to, your thought leadership, how people have found that valuable, and they give you a badge over a time period of top voice in this subject. And you get a little badge on your profile. It's a little yellow badge, and it says top voice in like business development or top voice in sales. So whatever post that you're contributing to, that topic can then become a top voice on your profile. Again, adding credibility and helping you get found in the search. You're only seeing these collaborative posts at the moment in your mobile feed. They are being rolled out to the main feed, but at the moment they're only in your mobile feed. So when you scroll, you will see them. But the benefits are you're going to position yourself as an industry expert, and you're going to have wider reach and give those insights to your audience that they might not actually know about. And they might think, oh, that's really valuable. What other information can I get from that person? Okay, it's really key. Now, one of my biggest tips that I would love you to take away is that all of the platforms now are saying that if you are just posting content and not engaging with your audience, then you are just a broadcaster. You're not interested in your audience. You just want to get your message out there. And they say if you do that, they won't show as many people your posts. They won't get you in front of the people that you want to get in front of. And especially if you're using a scheduling tool. Now, scheduling tools are okay, but if you're just using that scheduling tool to schedule and not going into the platform itself on a regular basis, and regular, I mean every day, every other day, every third day is okay. Okay, but they want you to go into the platform, scroll through your feed and engage with posts. Now, I always say to people, if you can go onto LinkedIn every second day, every third day, find 5 posts and engage on them, I think that shows that you're an engager, that you care about your community, and that's going to help your posts get more exposure because that person's going to engage with you And then that person will start seeing your posts in their feed and expanding the reach and visibility of your posts. Okay, so just have, we all check our emails, we all go and check our social media profiles if we've had any messages. Just spend 5 to 10 minutes to go and find 5 people that you can engage with in your feed, okay, and interact with that post. Add, contribute, start a conversation. So I've put here as well that you could do a poll. You could put a question as a update status on LinkedIn, which is going to help you get some really good insights. It's going to help you engage with your audience. It's going to help you potentially get some great leads. So I just want to show you this as before we move on. And I'm going to share my screen again. Let me get on here and go to my homepage on LinkedIn. Now at the top, I've got a little square, a starter post, it says right at the top. Okay, I'm going to click on there and it opens it up and it says share my thoughts. Now I could literally put on here, what are your thoughts around XXX? Okay. And I could just go and post that and see what conversations or discussions I get about that. But I could do something called a poll. Down the bottom, there's a little plus sign. And you click on the plus and it brings up these other options. Click on create a poll. And here you can go and put a poll in here. You can put the question with up to 4 different options that you would like people to vote on. I would recommend you open it up for a week. So it gives it a week. And LinkedIn, because I don't know whether you've seen this, LinkedIn can still be showing your post for up to 2 weeks. And it's really interesting because the great thing about LinkedIn is that the time decay of your post, it goes on for around 1 to 2 weeks. It's still showing your post quite well. And that's because of the amount of content. There's not as much content being posted to LinkedIn like the other platforms, okay? So it actually recycles your content and keeps showing your posts. So do a poll. But the great thing about this is that what you can do, as and when people vote, you can see exactly who's voted on what. So if the Canterbury BID put out, are you looking for more support when it comes to AI? And someone puts yes, definitely, no, or I'm really interested. Rachel or Lisa in the office could then click on the people that says, yeah, I'm interested, look at those people and say, we've got a session coming up in a couple of weeks. Here's the link to come on this free webinar, and you can start having conversations with those people. Great way to get in front of your audience. It's a poll, easy for people to vote, but a great way for you to start conversations. And I recommend having 1 poll a week. Just put a poll out. It really, what happens is, and I'm probably going into a bit of detail and I'm conscious of the time because I just want to give you so much, but with a poll, if you've done one at the beginning of the week, it really increases your engagement rate because polls are really easy for people to vote on. It's just 1 click for them. They don't have to type an answer. They just click on the answer. And what happens is those clicks and that engagement increases your impressions, increases your engagement rate, that all of those people that have voted on that poll then see your post for the next couple of days afterwards in the hope that they're engaged with those posts, helping you get your visibility and your presence out there, helping you grow on LinkedIn. Okay, so polls are a really important part of your content strategy. Okay, put a poll in there. What could you be asking? What is your goal for LinkedIn? What could you do around that topic? Okay. I'm sure the AI person will show you how you can be using AI effectively in your in your content. But again, it could give you some ideas on what polls you could be asking around your certain goals or your topics that you want to share on LinkedIn as well. Okay, so a lot there to take in, but I know it's recorded and you can always go back to this. But polls are really, really important, and that engagement are really key. So what should the perfect caption look like? What should the perfect caption look like? Well, I always say your caption of what you write as your post should follow the following format structure. So have a hook or a question. So say, for example, you at Canterbury BID want to talk about, I want to get out their session on AI. They would put on there, are you curious? this would be their open line on their post. Are you curious about how you can use AI in your business? Okay. Then their blurb might be, we have an upcoming webinar all around AI, and this is how it's going to help and benefit your business. This is what you'll learn on the webinar. Call to action would be, click the link to find out more, or click the link to register. And then you would have 3 hashtags that would be relevant to that session. So it might be hashtag AI for business, hashtag Canterbury business, or hashtag Canterbury. Okay. And then the other thing is that you might want to tag the speaker in there, which again helps the visibility of that post, that person might share that post who's speaking, and share it in their feed. Okay, so this is the perfect caption. The hook and the question is going to grab that person's attention when they read that post, because they'll be like, yeah, I am curious about how I can use AI in business, and then they'll read the rest of the post. What can you give? And you've got to do it in the voice of your audience, okay? In the voice of your audience. So again, I just want to share something else with you. Let me go on. I love answerthepublic.com. It gives you, I don't know if, how many of you have not used answerthepublic.com? Do let me know in the chat. But if you haven't, I love answerthepublic.com. It works alongside Google and now works alongside these other amazing platforms as well. But what it does, if you type a topic in, if I type an AI and business into answerthepublic.com, and I click on search, it's going to tell me all of the questions that people have asked Google about AI for business. And they could be your hooks or your questions for your captions. So you're saying it in a way that people are also searching it. So, for example, how can AI help my business? So question mark, and that could start your caption. Okay, so there's some really great ways, and these are really great blog posts. These are great video titles. They're great podcast titles. And you can have this for free. It has up to 3 searches every day for free, and it's a great tool. Really recommend it. And again, you can search for YouTube and Amazon as well if you've got Amazon products that you're working with. Okay, and again, you can save those. I go in and save them, and then when I'm going to create content, I've already got it saved. Okay, so here we go. Coming towards the end, this is what I would say, the thing I would take away with this. And I'm going to be doing a podcast on this soon, so you can grab my podcast as well. This is the checklist that I use every Friday, 9:30 to 10:30. The meeting's in my diary. And I purely go on LinkedIn to do this specific strategy on LinkedIn. This is purely what I do every week. Oh, I've got a question coming. Let me make sure that I'm answering someone's question. Oh, Matthew says, answer the public, a new one on me. Looks great. Do you know what, Matthew? It's fantastic. Do you know what? As you've said that, I'm just going to show you something else as well. As I, I love this stuff and I want to make sure you get as most from this. But if I go into Google, now in Google, say, for example, I type in AI for business again, right? And just click on enter. If I do that, right, if I scroll down, you get this for free as well. It says people also ask. These are great for blog posts, SEO, videos, newsletters. People are asking these. If I go, how is AI used in business? Again, that could be an open hook or question for your blog or your social media caption. But if I click on it and then close it again, it opens up more questions that people are also asking. So click on them again, which one resonates with you, and it'll give you more of what people are asking as well. So this is a really great way to find out what your audience might be asking for. Okay, so again, you can just find them on Google, those key things, and you can create content around that. Okay, so finishing off with this strategy. So I go on every Friday, I update my status, remembering the people that I want to get in front of and the things that I want to get in front of them about. So I'm connecting with conference directors, event organisers all of the time. So when I update my status to say what I've been up to, I'm thinking about where have I been speaking, what have I been doing, how have I been engaging? Actually, I'm going to get Rachel. Rachel, while you've got your screen on mute, would you take a screenshot of this? Would you take a screenshot? I can use it on my social media later as an example and tag Canterbury BID. But this is great because then that helps me with my credibility. It helps me getting in front of more people. So if you're doing the same and you are having meetings, you're out and about, you don't have to be taking pictures of you. I don't know if you've heard of this faceless marketing at the moment. You might just take a picture of the hotel you're meeting that person at, or the venue you're meeting that person at, or a picture of your coffee cup with your branding on, just to show people that you are active. Okay, so update your status. Then what you want to do is look at who viewed your profile. This is where I get the most leads and inquiries from. Okay, and I'm going to show you how. Okay, so I go into LinkedIn. Let me just go into LinkedIn on here. I go into LinkedIn and I click on my profile and I scroll down and I have a little analytics area and I click on profile views and I then look at who's been viewing my profile. So I can see here I've got lovely Lucy and Rachel, Bryony. So I'm going to accept their invites, but also they've been viewing my profile. So let's just say, as an example, I don't know who Lucy is. I would click on Lucy and I would look at her profile and I would say, I might reach out to Lucy and I say, hi, Lucy, I noticed you viewed my profile, would love to connect with you. I've accepted your connection and look forward to seeing your updates. Now, 9 times out of 10, I would say, let me be realistic on this, 4 out of 10 will come back to me saying, hi, Zoe, it's great to connect. I was looking at your profile because, and they would start a conversation. And that's when I would then go back saying if I can help you in any way. And I just start that conversation. I don't sell to them. I literally say it's great to connect. It'd be good to keep in touch. You're in the same industry. And again, it's a great way to building rapport with people. So that's what I do on that task. I go through and look at who viewed my profile. Okay, one of my activities. And you can see even on your free profile with LinkedIn, if you haven't got the paid profile, you can still see up to 5 profiles per day. Okay, so it still gives you enough to view. I then look at any discussions going on in my feed. I look at any groups that I'm in. Can I contribute? And also look at people in my feed and see how I can contribute as well. That's my engagement piece. So I go and engage. And I then go and add up to 6 to 10 contacts within my target audience. So I go and find, do you remember I showed you a moment ago, and you can go back on the recording, I typed in marketing director or operations director, and I connect with up to 6 to 10 people within my audience, and I connect with them. And I do that each week. And I use the search feature to do that. Now, I also use the search feature and I think back over the meetings that I've had this week. And I think about the people that I could go and connect with that I haven't connected with yet on LinkedIn. So I use the search feature to find those people and I connect with them saying it was great to meet you this week. Would love to connect, and I send them an invite. And I do that as well. All of this helps. Number one, in the update status, which could be a poll, it could be a question, it could be something you've done this week, helps in building my visibility and my presence and my credibility. Looking at who people who've viewed my profile helps me with networking and reaching out to people that have viewed my profile and connecting with those. Group discussions shows my thought leadership and discussions around that. Adding those connections helps me grow on LinkedIn, again, helps me build my visibility and my presence. And the search feature helps me find people and connect with potential clients and collaborations. Okay, so really key. And schedule that appointment into your diary each week. I say every week because that's what I do. It's worth me doing that because I know the leads and the inquiries or the opportunities that I get or the connections that I make is well worth me doing that. Allocate 40 minutes to an hour. go through that 5-step checklist and record your progress and results. So I'm a bit weird. I have a spreadsheet and I'll put down the 6 people I connected with because they're really good conferences that they manage. And I think I really love to speak at that event. And I'll put in when I tried to connect with them, when they accepted, and the message that I sent. And what happens, sometimes the event that I really want to speak at, they've already got the speakers they need. So I say, if you do this again, I'd love you to consider me. And they'll go, if you email me back next year in March, and I think, great, I then put it into my spreadsheet and I put it into an action that I then put into I use a system called Notion that sends me a reminder. But that for me is a potential lead. It's down to me to then keep in touch with that contact. Okay. And again, if there's people on there that you really want to work with and they're companies you want to work with, you might say, when is your contract up? When might I have the opportunity to do that? So again, another really great thing on there. I've got a question coming in. No problem at all, Max. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm getting on to the question stage anyway, which I think is my next slide. For those of you that don't know who I am, I know I didn't introduce myself. Just go and check me out on social. I have just launched a book, and I know I did ask Rachel if I could talk about it. It is on Amazon, and if you've got Kindle Unlimited, it's on Kindle Unlimited as well, which you can grab for free. But it's called Beyond the Feed. If you type it in Amazon, it's on there. Again, it's got a website link in there that you can grab some free resources as well. And yeah, it's my first book. I'm writing the second one actually, because I thought I'd never write a book. I had Ash Lawrence on my back for many years saying, you've got to write a book. And then I sadly lost my nan last year, and she gave me the inspiration. She goes, remember to write your book. And I was like, do you know what? I'm going to write my book. And I did it last year. Oh, thanks, Rachel, for sharing the link. And yeah, I love doing it, and I'm going to do the next one. But yeah, go and check that out. And I've got loads of free other resources as well. And you'll see a lot more things coming from me over the next few months too. So any questions, let me know in the chat. But I hope you've got at least one thing from this presentation. I can't believe where the hour went, but I hope you got at least one nugget you can take away. Any questions from anyone? Oh, you probably might have some later on. And if you do, or any tips on the length of post, really good one, Rachel. Do you know what I always say? Really depends on your audience. So some people will be out there saying only do short form, and some people go do long form. I would really recommend that you do a varied different types of posts. So you do polls, carousel posts. You might do long form, which is long text, which is like, you know, a good, like a, almost like a blog post. And you do short form, which is like a paragraph. Then see which one's got you the best impressions and got the most engagement. Because you will find, you know, my mentor over in the States, he says to me, if I'm trying to get in front of American audience, which I do, I've got my audience in America, they love long form. They love long form. Whereas people over here, I find they're very much, they just need snippets. So it just depends on your audience. I would trial all types of form of content. What's trending on LinkedIn at the moment is your polls, is your carousel posts, and is your collaborative articles. So if you can do that and have a varied content types, then do that to see which does best. Oh, Hugh says no question, but very helpful. I'm glad you found it useful, and thank you, Anna, as well. Oh, I've got some lovely stuff. I'm just gonna screenshot those, and I'll make sure I hide out your names when I share it. But that's always lovely to see. What other question? Oh, Kate says, how effective are hashtags on LinkedIn? Are they worth it? Kate, I always put free hashtags, a max of free hashtags on social media, on the LinkedIn post, no more than that. Only because I do it there because there are a lot of people that do follow hashtags on LinkedIn. So if you was to type in a hashtag on LinkedIn and you put hashtag Canterbury, it would come up with it would segment everyone's post, even people you're not connected with, all of their posts that have got hashtag Canterbury or the keyword Canterbury in. And if people are searching hashtag threads, you could potentially be found, but it'll tell you how many people are actually following that hashtag, which is really interesting. They're still quite high. But I would put them on free hashtags on your LinkedIn post, but no more than free. Oh, thank you, Jodie. That's really lovely of you. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Jane. I'm glad you've enjoyed it. Any other questions?
Zoe, thank you so
Oh,
much. I love your sessions.
oh, thank you.
I feel like because they're not overwhelming. It's doable. This is
Yeah,
all doable,
take
and these are
action.
great tips and things we can do, immediately.
Yeah,
It also just helps to focus the mind and
yeah.
actually be reminded that, what a difference that these channels can make and how we can, use them. So absolutely fantastic, and also really, really nice to be gathered together today as a business community across the district, which I love. So I'm so pleased we're able to do that, and great we could get you back, Zoe. So we will circulate the information that Rachel mentioned, and everyone's got the link to the book, and your details as well. So yeah, just keep an eye on the sessions we've got coming up. That link will be circulated as well, and hope to see you all again very soon.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everyone.
Bye.
Thanks, Zoe.